Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going deep on AI agents, and specifically how Microsoft's new autonomous AI agents are going to revolutionize the way businesses operate.
And potentially change the very nature of work itself.
Yeah.
It's incredible how fast this tech is evolving. We're not talking about like just basic chatbots anymore. These AI agents can make decisions.
They can take action independently.
Yeah, like a virtual workforce that's working 24/7.
It really is wild when you think about it, the scale of this. I mean, over 60% of Fortune 500 companies are already using the underlying platform that these agents are built on.
Yeah.
And some early adopters are reporting some really incredible gains.
Right.
Lumen Technologies, they're expecting to save something like $50 million
Wow.
annually.
Yeah.
And Honeywell estimates that their implementation of AI is basically like adding 187 full-time employees.
And the thing that I think is so cool about all this is how accessible this technology is becoming. Because of things like Copilot Studio, Microsoft has made it so that anyone can build their own AI agents
Without coding.
without coding skills.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really democratizing AI automation. It's bringing it to businesses of all sizes.
Okay, so let's break this down a bit. These AI agents, they're not just like advanced chatbots, are they? What can they actually do?
No, you're right. They go way beyond just a basic chatbot. They're designed to act like specialized virtual assistants across a company's different departments.
Okay.
So imagine like a sales qualification agent that would automatically do research on potential leads, identify the best ones, and even like start reaching out to those leads.
All without a human having to do anything.
All without any human intervention.
That sounds amazing for sales teams. I mean, that's a ton of work that they often have to do.
Absolutely.
Sifting through leads. So what other types of agents are out there?
So there are supplier communication agents that will monitor your suppliers, track their performance, handle communication if there are any delays or disruptions. And then on the customer service side, there are customer intent and knowledge management agents that can answer customer questions immediately and tailor those interactions to whatever the customer specific needs are.
So it's like having a team of super efficient virtual employees working 247 for you.
Exactly.
That sounds amazing for efficiency, but I can't help but wonder about the consequences of all this. If AI is handling all these tasks, what does that mean for the human employees who are currently doing those jobs?
That's a really important question.
Yeah.
And one that we need to think about carefully because while AI agents offer so much potential for businesses, their impact on the workforce is a really critical part of this whole technological shift.
Definitely something to consider.
Sure.
Let's get into some real-world examples of how these AI agents are already starting to change businesses. You mentioned earlier some really impressive figures. Tell me more about what companies are actually achieving with these AI agents.
Yeah, absolutely. So McKinsey & Company, they've managed to cut the time it takes to onboard a new client by 90%.
90%.
90%.
Wow.
Using AI agents. That means a process that used to take like a month can now be done in just a few days.
That's wild.
They also saw a 30% reduction in administrative work.
Wow, those are some serious efficiency gains. Any other examples that come to mind that are maybe from different industries?
Yeah, Pets at Home, a big pet supplies retailer in the UK, implemented an AI agent that's focused on profit protection, and they're estimating annual savings in the 7 figures.
Wow. It seems like a lot of the big companies are seeing these huge benefits, but what about smaller businesses? Can they actually use this technology?
Yeah, definitely. That's the whole point of Copilot Studio. It's built to be user-friendly. You don't have to have a whole tech team.
So even a smaller business can use this.
Absolutely.
Wow, so this no-code platform is really kind of leveling the playing field.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And even Microsoft themselves, their own internal teams have seen huge improvements. Their marketing teams have seen a 21.5% increase in conversion rates, and their sales teams have experienced a 9.4% boost in revenue per seller.
Wow. Those are really impressive numbers.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some of the downsides here. What about the jobs that involve a lot of the tasks that these AI agents can now do? Are we looking at like a ton of people losing their jobs?
That's a valid concern, for sure. Jobs like data entry, scheduling, basic customer service, those roles could be significantly impacted as AI starts taking over those routine tasks.
So for people whose jobs really depend on those tasks, this could be really scary.
Yeah.
What are the potential repercussions for the entire workforce?
Yeah, that's something we definitely need to talk about more. And we're going to explore that further in the next part of our deep dive. So as these AI agents become more common in the workplace, it's important to think about what it means for jobs.
Yeah.
And what kind of skills people are going to need to stay ahead of the curve.
So if AI is going to be doing all the routine work, what skills should people be focusing on to really thrive in this new environment?
Well, one of the most important skills is going to be critical thinking.
Okay.
Because while AI is really good at following instructions, it's not so good at thinking outside the box
Right.
or solving problems that need human creativity and ingenuity.
Makes sense. We'll need to be the creative problem solvers,
Yeah,
the ones who can analyze all the information and come up with those innovative solutions.
right.
So what other human skills will be really essential as we move forward?
Well, creativity is going to be huge.
Right.
Because AI can create content, but it can't truly innovate or be original.
Right.
So humans are still going to be the ones coming up with those groundbreaking ideas.
So artists, writers, designers, all those skills are going to be more valuable than ever.
Absolutely. But creative thinking isn't limited to just like the artistic fields.
Right.
It's really about approaching problems from a new angle
Yeah.
and coming up with solutions that AI might not even consider. And that's valuable in any industry.
That's a great point. Yeah. It seems like we'll need a good mix of analytical skills and creative skills
Exactly.
to really thrive in this new AI-driven world.
Yeah. And don't forget about emotional intelligence.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. As AI starts taking over more tasks, human interaction becomes even more important.
Right.
So being able to understand and manage your emotions
Sure.
and other people's emotions.
It's going to be a key skill that differentiates us.
Exactly. AI might be able to process information and respond to questions,
Yeah.
but it can't replicate human empathy or build those genuine relationships.
Right. Those soft skills, I feel like, are going to become so much more valuable.
Exactly, because think about it in a workplace where AI is handling a lot of the routine work,
Yeah.
that human touch becomes really special.
Right.
Things like empathy, communication, collaboration, those are the skills that are really going to set people apart.
It sounds like the skills that make us human are really going to be our biggest strengths in this new era of work.
I think so.
What about decision making? Will AI be making all the big decisions?
Well, AI can analyze data and give us options,
Okay.
but when it comes to complex decisions, we're still going to need human judgment.
Okay.
We'll need to think about different factors and consider the potential consequences and then make informed decisions that align with whatever the organization's goals are.
So AI is a powerful tool, but we still need to be the ones to use it responsibly and ethically.
Exactly.
Hmm.
We're still in charge when it comes to making those big decisions.
Right. It's in our hands.
Yeah, it can help us, but it can't replace our judgment or our responsibility to make good decisions.
Okay. So we've talked about critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, and making those complex decisions. It's quite a skill set.
It is.
Is there anything else we should be thinking about adding to our toolkit for the future?
Yeah, I think one more, and it might be the most important of all, adaptability.
Okay.
Because the world of work is changing faster than ever before.
Right.
So being able to adapt to new technologies, new ways of working new challenges, that's really crucial.
Adaptability,
Mm-hmm.
the meta skill, being able to learn and evolve all the time.
Yeah,
It's like if you got that, you're pretty much set for whatever comes next.
exactly. It's not about mastering one set of skills.
Right.
It's about having that mindset of continuous learning,
Okay.
always growing. We need to be ready for the unexpected because who knows what the future holds.
So to really thrive in this AI-powered workplace, we need to be critical thinkers,
Mm-hmm.
creative problem solvers, emotionally intelligent communicators, decisive leaders, and adaptable learners. That's quite a lot.
It is. It's a challenge,
Yeah.
but it's also a huge opportunity. I
Yeah.
think AI can actually help us unlock our potential
Oh, wow.
and achieve things we never thought possible.
That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
It's about seeing the possibilities that AI brings while still knowing how valuable our human skills are. But let's go back to the impact on jobs for a minute.
Sure.
We talked about the potential downsides and the need for people to learn new skills. Are there any fields or roles that might actually see an increase in demand because of AI?
Yeah, absolutely. As AI starts handling more of those routine tasks, we're probably going to see a big need for people who can manage and oversee AI systems.
Okay.
So think about things like AI trainers, AI ethicists, data scientists, AI security specialists. These are the kinds of roles that will make sure AI is being used ethically, responsibly, and effectively.
So it's not just about jobs being replaced by AI, it's also about new jobs being created.
Exactly.
In these AI-related fields, it's almost like a whole new industry is popping up.
Right. And it's not just tech companies. Every industry is going to be affected by AI.
Wow.
So we'll need AI expertise everywhere.
That's exciting. But it also sounds like these new roles need pretty specialized skills.
Yeah.
What about people who don't have a tech background? Are they going to get left behind?
Not necessarily. There are lots of ways to get involved with AI without being a programmer or a data scientist.
Okay.
We're going to need people who can bridge the gap between technology and business.
Okay.
People like AI project managers, AI consultants, AI business analysts.
So it's more about understanding how to use AI to solve real-world problems,
Exactly.
even if you don't know how to code it yourself.
Right. It's about seeing the big picture, understanding what AI can do, and then figuring out how to use that to get results for businesses.
So even if you're not a tech expert,
Uh-huh.
there are still opportunities to be a part of this.
Absolutely.
But it sounds like a willingness to learn and adapt is key,
It's essential. The one thing we know for sure about AI is that it's constantly changing.
right?
The technologies are evolving, new applications are being developed, the possibilities are endless.
It's true.
So the key is to become a lifelong learner, always be curious, and embrace the unknown.
That's great advice for our listeners. The future of work is uncertain, but it's also full of potential.
Yeah,
The best way to navigate it is to be open to those new possibilities and to keep learning.
right.
But before we finish up, I want to go back to something we mentioned earlier about the potential consequences for jobs and the need to address them carefully. What are some of the things we should be thinking about as AI becomes a bigger part of our work lives?
That's a really important question. As AI gets more sophisticated,
Mm.
we need to acknowledge that some jobs, especially those that involve a lot of repetitive tasks,
Yeah.
might be automated.
Right.
And that could lead to job displacement in certain areas.
So while there are all these amazing opportunities with AI, there are also some real concerns about what happens to those jobs that rely on those routine tasks.
Exactly. We need to be open and honest about those potential consequences
Yeah.
and figure out ways to minimize any negative impact.
Right.
We need to think about how to support people who might be affected
Yeah.
and help them learn the skills they need to succeed in this new environment.
It seems like we need a multi-pronged approach here, like creating a culture of continuous learning,
Right.
providing access to those reskilling opportunities, and maybe even exploring some new economic models that take into account how work is changing.
I agree. It's a complex issue. There's no easy answer, but by acknowledging the challenges
Right.
and looking for solutions, we can really harness the power of AI
Yeah.
while making sure that the future of work is more inclusive and equitable for everyone.
That's a really hopeful perspective.
Yeah.
It's not about being afraid of the unknown, but embracing those possibilities while also dealing with the challenges in a responsible way.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that we have the power to shape the future.
Right?
It's not set in stone.
Yeah.
If we approach AI in a thoughtful way and keep human values in mind,
Yeah.
we can create a future of work that benefits everyone.
That's a really inspiring thought. We can
Yeah.
actually steer this technological revolution
Yeah.
in a direction that improves our lives
Yeah.
and helps us reach our full potential.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about the potential for these AI agents to really transform businesses.
Yeah.
And we've touched on those concerns about jobs.
Right.
And of course, the skills that we'll all need
Right.
to navigate this whole new landscape as we move forward.
It's a lot to think about.
It's a complex and rapidly evolving situation.
For sure. Full of opportunities, but also challenges.
Exactly. So as we start to wrap things up here, what's the one big takeaway that you want our listeners to really think about?
Well, I think as AI becomes more and more a part of our work lives, and really just our lives in general, the question to ask yourself is, what are you doing to prepare yourself?
Yeah.
To not just adapt, but to actually get ahead of the curve,
Right.
to anticipate those shifts that are coming, and to develop the skills that will make you stand out.
It's a call to action for all of us to be lifelong learners,
Yes.
to embrace those changes and to really shape the future of work
Yeah.
instead of just reacting to it.
I love that we have the power to decide how AI shapes our world.
That's true.
And if we approach it thoughtfully,
Right.
and if we prioritize those human values,
Yeah.
then we can create a future that benefits all of us.
I think that's a great note to end on. Thank you so much for joining us today for this deep dive into AI agents and the future of work. It's a future filled with a lot of possibilities,
Definitely.
and we can't wait to see what happens next.
Me too.